everyone. I hope everyone is keeping well. So, today we will look at the socio religious reform movements and the leaders associated with them. As we all know, how education plays an important role for us, and with the help of education, we gain important insights about the society which surrounds us. At that time, this role was played by Western education and it showed some important aspects of Indian society which were wrong on the humanitarian level. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was one such prominent and courageous leader who not only pointed out the social ills of our society but also tried to change it and was successful to a great extent. He was also known as the father of Indian Renaissance and the maker of modern India. He believed in the modern and scientific approach towards human dignity and social equality, and he was a monotheist who campaigned against idolatry, caste rigidity, and meaningless ritual and other social ills. He was a strong believer of rationalist ideas. He also believed that if the reason demanded rationality, departing from religious scriptures was justified. He formed Brahmo Sabha in August 1828, which was later renamed as Brahmo Samaj. Some of his literary works were Gift to Monotheist in 1809. He also translated Vedas and 5 Upanishads in Bengali to support monotheism. In his Precepts of Jesus in 1820, he tried to separate the moral and philosophical message of the New Testament, which he praised, for which he earned the wrath of missionaries over his advocacy to incorporate the message of Christ into Hinduism. Some of the newspapers which he created was Sambat Kaumudi in Bengali, Mirat ul Akbar, First General in Persian, and Bangaduta. Now we will look at Raja Ram Mohan Roy's efforts at social reform. He stood for a creative and intellectual process of selecting the best from different cultures, over which again and again he faced orthodox reactions. He acted as a crusader against the inhuman practice of sati, and it was because of his efforts in 1829 under the rule of Albuquerque this sati practice was banned by the government of Goa legally. He also condemned general subjugation of women, attacked polygamy practice, and the degradation state of widows. He demanded the rights of inheritance and property for women. Raja Ram Mohan Roy encouraged Western education along with Indian education at Vedanta College founded by him in 1825. At Vedanta College, courses both in Indian learning as well as in Western and social physical sciences were offered. He also supported David Hare's effort to found the Hindu College in 1870. He also helped enrich Bengali language by compiling a Bengali grammar book. As a bold supporter of freedom of press, Roy brought out many literary work to educate and inform the public and represent their grievances before the government. These literary work came out in different languages like Bengali, Hindi, English, Persian, etc. He was a campaigner of women's rights and also suggested the idea of separation of executive from the judiciary. Now, as we all know and remember that this practice by Lord Canning was done through Indian Council Act 1861. Now here I am not implicating that it was the idea of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, but it was an effective policy. As a political activist, Roy condemned the oppressive practice of Bengali zamindars and also demanded a fixation of maximum rents. He also demanded abolition of taxes on tax-free land. He also called for reduction of export duties on Indian goods abroad and also abolition of East India Company's trading rights. He also demanded Indianization of superior services and judicial equality between the Indians and the Europeans, and that trial to be held by jury. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was an internationalist with a vision beyond his time. He stood for the cooperation of thoughts and activities and also brotherhood among the nations. His understanding of the universal character of the principles of liberty, equality, and justice indicated that he well understood the significance of the modern age. He supported the revolutions of Naples and Spanish America. He condemned the oppression of Ireland by absentee English landlordism and also threatened immigration from the empire after the Reform Bill was not passed. Now we will learn about one of the most compelling and significant foundation of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, that is the Brahmo Samaj of 1828. But before that, I would like to grab your attention towards the fact that Ram Mohan Roy did not wanted to establish a new religion. He only wanted to purify Hinduism and the evil practices which had crept into it. Now coming back to the topic, Raja Ram Mohan Roy founded Brahmo Sabha in August 1828. It was later renamed Brahmo Samaj. Through this Sabha, he wanted to institutionalize his ideas and mission. The Samaj was committed to worship and adore the immutable being who is the author and the preserver of universe. The long-term agenda of the Brahmo Samaj was to purify Hinduism and to preach monotheism. The Samaj also tried to incorporate the teaching of other religions and kept its emphasis on human dignity. Some prominent features of Brahmo Samaj was that it denounced polytheism and idol worship. It also discarded the faith in divine avatars or incarnations. It denied that any scripture could enjoy the status of ultimate authority, transcending human reasons and conscience. It also took a definite stand on the doctrine of karma and transmigration of soul, and left it purely to the individual Brahmos to believe it either way. Also criticized the caste system. The Samajists worked on the two fronts by reforming Hinduism from within and also opposing the Christian missionaries for criticizing Hinduism and their attempt at conversion. The revitalized Samaj supported widow remarriage, women education, abolition of polygamy, and also improvement of riots. Because of his bold and pious efforts towards bettering the society, Raja Ram Mohan Roy attracted many followers like the Derosians and the independent thinkers such as Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Ashwini Kumar Datta, Debendranath Tagore, and K.C. Sen. One of Raja Ram Mohan Roy's follower, Debendranath Tagore, who later became a strong leader of the Samaj, was a product of Indian learning as well as Western thoughts. He gave a new life to Brahmo Samaj and a definite form and shape to the Theist movement when he joined the Samaj in 1842. Prior to joining the Samaj, he headed Tattva Bodhini Sabha, which was founded in 1839, as well as its organ Tattva Bodhini Patrika in Bengali. Tagore devoted to the systematic study of India's past with a rational outlook and to the propagation of Ram Mohan's idea. Some of the newspapers which was headed by Debendranath Tagore were Indian Mirror, which was a fortnightly and first Indian daily paper in English in the year 1862 in Calcutta. National paper in 1865 also in Calcutta. Brahmo Samaj experienced another phase of energy when Keshav Chandra Sen joined it. He was assigned the position of Acharya by Debendranath Tagore as soon as the former joined the Samaj in 1858. Debendranath did not like some of Sen's idea and found him to be too radical. Like, Sen had strong views against caste system. He openly supported intercaste marriages and also included teaching from all the religions. All these ideas of Sen was disliked by Tagore. Keshav Chandra Sen was dismissed from the office for his radical ideas in 1865. After this, Keshav and his followers founded the Brahmo Samaj of India in 1866, while Debendranath Tagore's Samaj came to be known as Adi Brahmo Samaj. Keshav Chandra Sen committed a huge mistake in the year 1878 by marrying his 13-year-old daughter to a minor Hindu Maharaj of Cooch Behar with all the orthodox Hindu rituals, which caused another split in Keshav's Brahmo Samaj. Further, the followers of Keshav accused him to be authoritative in nature. After this incident of 1878, the followers of Keshav was disgusted by him and they set up a new organization, Sadharan Brahmo Samaj. The Sadharan Brahmo Samaj was started by Anand Mohan Bose, Shiv Chandra Deb and Umesh Chandra Datta. The Sadharan Brahmo Samaj retrieved the one and only ideology of Brahmo Samaj, which was monotheism, and believed that no scripture or man was infallible. In Punjab, the Dayal Singh Trust was sought to implant Brahmo's idea, and also on the lines of Brahmo's idea, Dayal Singh College at Lahore in 1910 was founded. The Brahmo Samaj had a huge significance on Indian society by their efforts to reform the social ills of the society. It condemned the prevailing Hindu prejudice against going abroad. It also worked for a respectable status for women in the society and also attacked casteism and untouchability practice. There was another movement known as Young Bengal Movement with the leader Henry Louis Derozier. He was the first nationalist poet of modern India and also a teacher at Hindu College. This movement was inspired by French Revolution and they supported for women education. They also called for the protection of riots and questioned the revision of charter acts. But somehow the Young Bengal movement couldn't find its place in the social reform movement as the radicalization was bookish in nature and there was no direct link with the people. It also forgot to involve the peasants' issue. Another organization which was involved in the reform movement was Pratna Samaj, which was formed by Atmaram Pandurang in 1867 with the help of Keshav Chandra Sen. This Samaj also had a precursor in the name of Paramhans Sabha, something like a secret society to spread liberal ideas. Other important leaders apart from Atmaram Pandurang was M.G. Ranade, R.G. Bhandarkar, D.K. Karve and Vishnu Shastri. The objectives of Pratna Samaj was women education, widow remarriage, disapproval of caste system and raising the age of marriage. Mahadev Govind Ranade joined the Samaj in 1870 and much of the popularity of the work done by the society was due to his efforts. His efforts made the Samaj gain all India character. D.K. Karve and Vishnu Shastri were other champions along with Ranade. Karve and Ranade founded the widow remarriage movement as well as Widows Home Association with the aim of providing education and training to the widows so that they could support themselves. With the efforts of D.K. Karve, first Indian Women University in 1916 in Pune was established. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed our content. For more videos on modern India and other subjects, please subscribe on our channel.